The rain in Spain stays mainly in the...
Step by step through the sun and rain, over mountains, across the plains. WCBH is on the go. Join us as we walk the Camino.
Hey, it's Cam from WCBH. Now, normally when you hear me, I'm talking about local Darwin sport or commentating local Darwin rugby league or rugby union, but I'm coming to you with a different series of podcasts. My family and I are walking the Camino Frances. So we're walking from St. John Pier de Port through to Santiago de Compostela. That's 790 kilometres. And we started today. Today is day one. And so we've made it to our first day destination, being Valcarlos. We walked a little over 13 kilometres today. Doesn't sound like a huge first day, and that was intentionally so. So we didn't break our bodies. Of course, carrying our packs, that's heavy, and we've got to get used to that. But the elevation, there was a fair amount of elevation on day one, particularly in the back end as you come into Valcarlos. It was exceptionally steep there. So a good day, but we've made it here on day one. Now, many people would be familiar with the Camino Frances or the Way or walking the Camino, etc. It was made famous recently by Martin Sheen when he released the film, well, he starred in the film The Way. I think it might have been his son Emilio Estevez who directed the film. So if you haven't seen it, it's a great film, The Way, starring Martin Sheen. And it's a journey about heading towards a town called Santiago de Compostela. And what it's famous for is there's a cathedral there, St. James, and it holds the remains of St. James. And it's believed that during the Crusades, the remains of St. James was taken out of Jerusalem and taken to Santiago, and that's where it's kept now in the crypt there at St. James. And so over the years, over thousands of years, really, this has developed into a place of pilgrimage where people journey to Santiago, and there's a number of different caminos now. But the French way, or the way that we're walking, it would be considered the most famous. So 790 kilometres. Now, it's broken up over 33 stages. So that's sort of a rough number of days people take to do the distance. If you add in a few rest days, possibly about 35 days. Obviously, people can do it quicker than that, and many people do. Our intent is to actually take longer. We'll probably take about the 45 days. Walking the Camino is myself, my wife, and my son. He's 8 years old. We've got plenty of time up our sleeves, so we don't want to break our bodies. My son is young. My wife and I, we want to look after ourselves. My back and my knees not so good. So we are taking a little bit more time. So, for example, stage one, we're breaking into 2 days. Now, some days we'll do that and other days we'll make the stage. So we started this morning from St. John Pier de Port. It's a small, quaint little town in the south of France, the traditional starting point, and you attend the office and you're given your passport or credential, and what that is a little booklet as you work your way through from cafe to restaurant to accommodation to town, etc. You collect stamps along the way as a memento, but also as evidence that you've walked this journey, and when you get to the end, you present it at the other passport office in Santiago, and then they issue you with a certificate called a Compostela, a sign of your achievement of walking the distance. Now, you don't have to walk the 790 kilometres. My wife and I, we walked the last 5 days in the back end of 2017 over that Christmas New Year period. And that was from Sarria to Santiago. That gave us an insight into what we could expect. We made plenty of mistakes then. Hopefully we don't make them a second time on this Camino, but we are bound to make plenty more mistakes. Now, we are no means experts, and we're in fact at the complete other end of the spectrum to that, absolute put us down the novice end, but we have done a little bit of prep. We'll talk more about what prep we've done as we release these podcasts. So that's what this series will be about. So it will feature in the WCBH podcast list, but I'll identify it Camino Frances Day 1 from here to there, etc. So if you're more interested in just listening to the local Darwin Sports podcast, you can give these ones a miss. But if you are interested in following us along this journey, you're very, very welcome. So we're at the end of day 1. Hopefully you join us for day 2. Tomorrow we will head from Valcarlos and we will head to Roncesvalles. And just a real rider, I suppose. I'm absolutely going to butcher the French and the Spanish throughout this podcast series. I hope I get better as we go along. But for me, we're going to enjoy this little town. It's a Pyrenean town, small town of Valcarlos. It's part of the Basque country. It's beautiful here. It is winter. It is the last day of February, so it's quite cool, quite cold at times. When the sun's out, it does warm up a little bit. But bye from me for today, and we'll see you hopefully on day 2.
The rain in Spain stays mainly in the
Step by step through the sun and rain, over mountains, across the plains. WCBH is on the go. Join us as we walk the Camino.